In this video, we're going to look at two different ways instructors are using audio files in their courses to make a better learning experience for their students. In this first example, we're in a business course where the instructor leaves a little audio introduction each week in the class, and this is a regular event that happens. Students are told to click on the arrow to listen to the instructor's audio introduction, and what follows is essentially the transcript of what the instructor is saying. And students obviously have the option, they could just read the page or they could listen to the instructor read it to them. So this is a great way to have additional instructor presence and a little bit of universal design for learning. Students have some options for how they want to take in content. This is an example in a plant science course where the instructor is using audio files to guide students through what would have been PowerPoint slides, but are now kind of textbook pages created by the instructor within Canvas. And a few things I want to point out. So the header that they use just before it always says play the unit whatever podcast, right? So students know to play this and they can listen along. And then the transcript is linked just below it. So if students want to read the transcript instead, they can access it by clicking on it. And you'll see that the page that they use for the transcript utilizes headers to chunk the material. Even though it's simply text, it helps to chunk the content on the page so it's, well presented. And at the very bottom, the instructor puts a link, return to lecture. That way the students can easily navigate back to the page they were on if they chose to read the transcript instead of listening to the audio. Now, because this is a little tricky, it's done consistently throughout this course, so students will learn it. You'll notice that the instructor also links in every time how the lecture podcast pages work. And this is actually something they had to come across in the orientation of the class. So this is just something to think about. The instructor found that students using mobile devices, sometimes with the Canvas's audio recording feature that we use to create audio recordings, sometimes they have a little bit of trouble. So she does a little workaround so students can understand that she creates an extra link for them. If we just go back, so that she directly links in the audio file, and that tends to work better for folks on their mobile devices. So that's just one accommodation that the instructor put into her design so that even mobile device users have a really good experience. That's not required, it's above and beyond. At minimum, you want to have your audio file and then a transcript immediately following. It could be a linked page with a link to come back to where the audio file was, or it could be in our first example where it's on the immediately underneath the audio recording as essentially the transcript following as text on the page.